Hey everyone, Will from All Electric, and today we're taking a look at these two e-bikes from ONEBOT. In this video, you're going to get my complete review after checking these e-bikes out for several weeks. Let's jump right in. Overall, the quality that you get for these e-bikes, especially at their price point, I think is really impressive. I really like the design of both of these, and they're both folding e-bikes. Now there is a center wheel down below these e-bikes in the middle, so when they are folded, you are able to wheel them. Now they both also come with rear shocks, which I found was really comfortable while you were riding them. Now they both have these beautiful hand grips, which are way more comfortable. I love seeing even these budget e-bikes put these on. Now there is only 3 power assist levels on this 250 watt motor. Both have the exact same 250 watt motor, and I believe the yellow one has a slightly larger battery, hence the upgraded price point. More about the price later. They both have the front headlight and a twist throttle on the right, which does operate from 0. They have this little horn or bell. It's kind of electronic sounding, but you can see this yellow one here is about the same, even though on the website it's about $300 more. Now, as you can see, this display is exactly identical to the gray one. It does have 3 power assist levels, pedal assist levels, and also a throttle on the right hand side here that does operate from 0. You have the little electronic horn along with the rear brake. Now both of these fold in about the exact same way. Both of them have the wheel underneath. I'm kind of wondering why this company created this more expensive model, I think just to get slightly more range out of the more expensive model over the cheaper model. Now, just like the cheaper gray version, this does come with an LED headlight on the front that you just hold the plus button to operate. In terms of folding this thing, it couldn't be easier. There's simply 2 latches, one for the handlebar and one for the main frame. You can see I'm pointing out the handlebar latch right there that actually folds it down. Both is identical on the bike, and then the other one that folds it in half is located on the frame. Really nice to see this huge shock in the back as well. I did a little slow-mo later in the video that you can see, and it actually made the ride a little bit more comfortable. Smaller 16-inch tires here, no gears at all. Again, 250 watt motor in the rear, but it was quite zippy right off the brake, which is kind of all you need in terms of an e-bike. So when you're folding this thing down, you can also fold the pedals, which makes it even smaller. So if you have a small sedan, yes, it will fit in the back of it. Yes, it'll fit in the back seat of a car. That is the plus of this e-bike. While you do have a slightly smaller motor, this is great for like a last mile commute or something like that. If you're going to be on a bus and then jumping onto a train, or on a train and then you have a few miles home, this is probably the e-bike for you because it's so easy to maneuver and get around. You can see the other one fell over. I'm going to get to the kickstand here in a second after my initial first ride. But you can see twisting the throttle is quite zippy, especially from 0, which is really nice to see. And I'm about 6'1", and you can see just how a 6'1" rider, the seat height is almost maxed out. I believe the handlebars can go up a couple inches, but that was pretty comfortable where it sits right there for me. Now jumping onto the yellow one, I think the frame of the yellow one is just a bit longer to accommodate the larger battery pack, but other than that, these are about as identical as they come. Again, 16-inch tires and really zippy with the 250 watt motor from the bottom on flat ground. I will say that if you try to take this 250 watt motor and you are not a child, then I think you're going to be slightly disappointed if you try to go up any sort of incline. Now, going over to the kickstand, which is the main difference of these two bikes, minus the battery pack, you can see that the less expensive one actually has a better kickstand than the larger one, and I think that's to accommodate the length. So you can see the larger kickstand definitely gives more support of the bike, and I feel like the yellow one there with the short kickstand is more likely to fall over. Not a huge deal breaker, but just something to keep in mind. Now, in terms of riding this thing, it could not be easier, and I actually found them quite comfortable. Most of the e-bikes that I test on this channel are rather large and huge. So if you're not looking for, a beefy like hunting e-bike or some, crazy off-road version, if you're going to be on like a paved path similar to what I'm on right here, then this is probably going to be an e-bike for you, especially if you need to go in that kind of 20 or under mile range in terms of like that's how long your trip is, then this e-bike is probably going to work out for you. I could definitely see myself with a backpack or something like that for work, twisting the throttle and easily going to a bus stop or a train station and hopping right on, and this folding up and not being an issue at all. Now, aside from commuting, I really think that this is a great e-bike for kids. I don't know if you have a child that is, let's say, has a 2 or 3 mile bike ride to school or works part-time, then this e-bike would be great for them to, kind of towed around or get around, especially at the price point compared to some larger e-bikes. This could definitely be folded up and stuck in a back room or taken with them inside a class and easily set next to them, especially if they're on like a college campus, let's say. So overall, I mean, the gray one also rides just as nicely as this yellow one here. It's super easy to get on, flip up the kickstand and twist the throttle and you're off and you're gone. Now, pedal assist level 3 is super easy to just start pedaling. I did find that most, like after I would say 10 seconds on pedal assist 3, the highest level, especially on flat ground, the bike was going faster and I was more or less just moving my legs because the cadence sensor, to keep the cadence sensor engaged because the bike was moving faster than I really wanted to pedal, but that would just at least keep the electric motor on and keep you kind of going forward. Now, I want to say again that over any sort of incline, this bike is not going to perform well and you will be pedaling. This 250 watt motor, especially if you're like me and about 200 pounds, is not going to accommodate a larger rider on this small of a motor. Now, if you're a child or if this is for a child and let's say they're, under 100 pounds, then I think this electric motor at 250 watts is going to be plenty of power, especially on any sort of incline for a smaller rider. Now, I was able to test these brakes out pretty well, and I think there's plenty of stopping power, especially because this is a smaller style e-bike. There are disc brakes, one in the front and one in the rear, and I think it provided plenty of stopping power. Now, in terms of riding this e-bike, I'm about 6'1" and the seat height is at the max level or can't go any higher. Same with the handlebars. You can twist the handlebars with that adjustment right there on the top, but you cannot raise them up any higher. So that is the position that you have, and I would say that it fits me fine. I would say that 6 feet, 6'1" is like the max height. If you're 6'5" or 6'4" even, I think this bike is going to be way too small for you. Now let's talk about price. So this ONEBOT model, this is their S7, is right now on Amazon for $699, and there's a $200 off coupon, so it puts it at $500. I think at $500, I've seen similar bikes like this at Costco, and I think the one that I kind of just jumped on at Costco, I didn't get a chance to ride it obviously because it was in the store, but that was also $500, and this one I think is built way better just from what I could see. So there's a great look in slow-mo at the rear shock, and it did provide a lot of comfort for me as the rider. So if you do have a small section that is off-road and you're worried about your commute with this one, I wouldn't be, because this can handle it because it's going to be comfortable with that rear shock. Now switching over to the yellow one, you can see we have the about same riding style. Again, the seat is about maxed out. There's no adjustment with the handlebars, but it's relatively comfortable for me, and I would think that again, about 6 foot or about my height, 6'1", is the maximum that I would get. If you're taller than that, I would skip this e-bike. But if you're shorter than that, I think the riding height and the riding comfort will work for you. There is limited adjustment that you can do with the handlebars, but if you're taller than me, then the seat height, I think you can see my pedal length is already a bit short, as in like the seat height should be up just a hair higher than it is currently. But overall, rider comfort wise, I think it was fine, especially how this is designed. This is not a 100-mile commuter bike, but at the $1,000 price point, it's kind of hard for me to recommend this one over the other one because it's half the price. And to me, I don't see that huge of a difference. There is a little bit of difference in terms of battery capacity, both the same lithium-ion batteries, I'm sure, but this one gets a little bit bigger battery, but I don't think it's worth double the price. I would definitely buy the S7 over this model just because it's only $500 right now. And to me, that's a great bargain, especially for this e-bike and with the rear shock and how the quality of this thing is actually built. All right, there you guys have it. That is my full review of these two e-bikes. If you want to check out one of these e-bikes, click the link down below in the description. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Thanks so much for watching. Share this video with a friend and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I will catch you guys in the next one. See ya.